Hello and welcome to that superhero hub. It's your boy, Sam.
And I'm
And today we're going to be reviewing,
Arrow.
yep, episode 23, Lian Yu series finale. Go.
Well, did let's get right into it. Do you think it was? We were discussing all week whether this would be the best finale. Do you think it was?
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, probably.
What makes you think not?
Well, I'm trying to think about what to compare it to. I mean, obviously W shows. It's better than Supergirl. Definitely better than Flash. I don't know if it's better than Shield though.
Shield was whack. This was better than Shield. I mean, a lot of people are lauding it as like one of the best episodes of Arrow. Full stop. There was
I
a
don't know
lot.
about
There's a lot of things going on. I mean, so he gets on the island. He has his talk with Slade, and Slade's like, "Look, I'm in the right frame of mind." And it's like they kind of get a little chummy talking about. He's like, "Oh, since when did you have a son?" You got the whole camaraderie from like the second season before he goes a bit loopy, giving it the whole kid stuff and being quite on good terms. I mean,
that. Yeah.
he
He
also,
brings up Jericho as well, doesn't he?
yeah. He says, "Look, I've got all the information here for you to find your son." Or whatever, so I guess they're gonna waive. They also get Captain Boomerang and also offer him the same deal. It's like, yo, you help me out, you're off the island. So I mean, they kind of converge on the beach, and you had Nyssa and Malcolm kind of having a little conversation. Like she was kind of sweating him. She was like, if we're gonna work together, we've at least got to like talk to each other. And it was just like,
Yeah, I
what?
don't know why.
I don't know. Maybe she wants to increase her circle of friends. Because she was like, I kind of did you a favour, really, and I think probably yeah, because Malcolm probably would have.
That's not a favour, not to win.
Yeah, the whole him in charge of the League of Assassins and stuff like that. I don't think it would have been good for him.
I think it would.
I don't.
He's a super villain.
Yeah, I know, but is it just doesn't feel like the right thing for him. So yeah, and then they kind of turn up, and then you got Captain Boomerang like eyeing Nyssa up, and she was like,
Mhm.
"Yo, if you look at me in that way again, I'll cut your eyes out." And then Malcolm just jumps in and is like, "Look, you're really not her type." I was like, "All right then, Malcolm, calm down." And then their plane gets blown up. So yeah, then they start making movements, I guess. They're kind of they get to a little like open area where they're all in cages, and then they kind of get let out, and then like Talia appears with like a couple of assassins, and then Captain
I
Boomerang
was
goes.
saying that, yeah, he betrays them, which you can see coming from Marla, obviously.
Yeah, that's good for
But
his character anyway, because if they tried to, because it's just like a grade A asshole, like full stop.
oh yeah, he's a flat out villain, and I didn't think Slade would betray them, and they kind of went to the well twice with that, but it was okay. But what Talia hasn't worked for me at all. Like they brought her in, and they kind of baned what's his face, um, Prometheus, but then she disappeared, and now she's put back in the finale.
Yeah. Um,
It seems I don't think it was necessary. You really didn't need her.
I don't really know what kind of Talia was doing. Like, what is the point of her really? Does she want? I guess she wants Oliver dead for like killing Ray. Even though she didn't really care that much about him, and it's like, well, why not just leave it up to Prometheus?
Right. I mean, there was no need for her to be in the plot at all.
No, not at all. So yeah, they kind of let him out, and then there's like a little standoff, and then Talia fires an arrow, and then he saves Samantha, who turns out is on the island as well, which we didn't know. And then there's like a mad thing like, oh, where's my son? Where's my son? So yeah, um, yeah, I was kind of glad that they didn't make Slade be like an arsehole and stuff like that. But he was like the standout character of the episode. He was way cool. You had like Thea take him Oliver aside and be like, "Yo, you teamed up with Merlin and Slade or whatever," and it's like he should have just kind of stuck up for him. He should have been like, "Look." He should have brought up the analogy for like Roy Harper, because they were both like pretty much like the same person. It was like, yo, he was under the thing of Mirakuru. I know he killed Mum
Never
or
mind
what.
them. You should never mind Roy. Use Fear.
Oh
Malcolm
well,
did it to her.
well yeah. So there we go. So they kind of trot off, and then what they kind of revisit a thing they did, I think, in the season 2 premiere, where like they like because I mean Felicity stood on a landmine, but this time it's like Thea, so she stands on the landmine, and then Malcolm's being or whatever dashes her off, stands on it, and is like, look, you guys go ahead. I really think, kind of considering what happens with the cliffhanger and stuff like that. uh, I think is going to end up saving the day.
Yeah, he's not dead. You don't see a body, and even if you do in this show, they'll
Yeah.
bring him back eventually. We talked about it before. No one really dies in these shows anyway. I didn't. It didn't really work for me. I didn't get buy into the drama. I felt like I've seen it 100 times before.
Yeah.
But you know, whatever. It gives something for Theo to cry about. Even shouldn't do anything. Shouldn't fight anyone.
No. So I mean,
And
yeah,
Oliver sends like Felicity and the mum off, what's her name, Samantha,
yeah,
and sends them off. But she's like, I can't abandon my kid.
yeah.
It's like, don't you know you're a liability? Like, what are you gonna do?
Exactly.
It's stupid.
That was a bit doofy. So yeah, I guess Malcolm may or may not be dead, and he may or may not have taken out Captain Boomerang with him. Um,
Not to both.
so what?
Not to both of them.
Yeah, so, well, Captain Boomerang could die, because really, what, he might pop up in one episode, like, maybe in the Flash for one episode, or that's really his kind of purpose.
Come to think of it, wasn't I can't remember this a while ago. You know, he was in the crossover, wasn't he?
Yeah,
But wasn't he in the Arrow part of the crossover?
yeah,
I think he was. I don't
yeah,
think Boomerang's ever actually even been on the Flash.
yeah, yeah. I mean, he dashes his boomerangs and then Flash catches them and whatever, but
Yeah.
yeah, and then he gets locked in Lian Yu. So yeah, there's a couple doofy conversations. They get to Felicity's kind of team, as it were, and then she's going on about the calculator and like drawing parallels with Merlin about whack fathers. Then they get to like a plane, but there's a bunch of C4, and then it turns out the whole island's laced with C4, and then I guess it's kind of like, I don't know. They Nyssa, Deathstroke, and Oliver are just kind of going around and stuff like that, and then they come across the crashed plane, and it's like, oh, a walk down memory lane, and then they clock like a big Chinese like temple that no one's ever seen before, and like in there they're all kind of reunited. I mean, first, Rene and Canary, like
Yeah.
Whack Canary, are kind of in there, and Laurel Canary kind of brings like the rest of the Team Arrow in there, and then like Captain Lance is pretty pleased to see Rene. I guess he was super gassed to see him. So then Oliver, Deathstroke, and Nyssa make their way there, and then there's kind of like a double cross, as it were, and then that pretty much gets resolved. And then, I mean, Felicity's team are like sweating over all this C4 and stuff like that. Then, long story short, we get like a real cool fight scene where like everyone's kind of fighting each other. Like, I think the first time, because I mean, Nyssa and Talia kind of throw down, and Nyssa takes her out like pretty goddamn easy, and then just knocks her out. I mean, they have a little thing, like, I guess Gamora and Nebula have in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. They kind of have a thing like that. So,
Yeah, I suppose with Talia being the favoured one,
yeah,
kind of.
yeah. Deathstroke was standout sick during the fighting and stuff like that. I'm glad they made him look sick as well. He was just mullering people left and right.
Yeah.
That was proper decent. Adrian Chase turned out, and still Oliver's like, "Yo, where's my kid?" The Canary fight was pretty lackluster. You know what I mean? They just kind of blast himself across the room, and then Quentin ends up whacking Laurel over the head, and
Yeah.
and that.
Well, they had this really lame. I forget what the build-up was, but they had this really lame thing with them where Quentin's like, actually, it's Black Canary.
Oh,
I can't down, mate.
that was hella batty.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you had the kind of like whatever with Prometheus and Oliver, and he gets him in a headlock and whatever, and it's like,
The fight was cool, but again, I get that's kind of what the season's about. But again, we're back to this Oliver, I won't kill, that's so I used to be thing. You've done this so many times. They're going back and forth over will he kill, will he not. Make a decision. And by the way, it was better when he killed people.
yeah, duh. I guess that kind of don't really fit into it now. I guess
No.
now they've kind
At
of
least they've established an in-story reason now for why he won't kill people.
yeah.
As opposed to his southern no, I've had a change of heart crap.
Yeah, I mean the whole thing where Prometheus is like, I killed William, that was a bit shocking. It's like weird when he said that, and like all of a sudden Deathstroke took off his mask and started looking all solemn and stuff like that.
Yeah, honestly, I thought for a second like Oliver, it was going to be a better version of what we saw in the Flash the other night, where because Oliver can't kill him, like Slade's going to kill him instead.
Yeah.
But no,
I was the way they did it. I was thinking, does Slade know something? Because he like takes his mask off. I was like, has he seen something or whatever? But like, apparently not.
I thought it was threatened to kill him, but I was wrong as well.
Well, it would have screwed up the whole thing, because it turns out if he dies, then I mean the whole island blows up. So I mean,
that was when we get to their skip ahead briefly. When we get to their final confrontation on the boat. I did like when he had the kid in his arm and he's like, you kill me or you don't, either way you're screwed. I kind of like that, but the island is linked to me and if I die thing, that's Lost. Wasn't that Ben Linus and Keamy and the whole thing was like, if you kill him it gets blown up or some crap like that?
I don't know, some weird stuff. So
wasn't it? Like, oh, okay.
So basically from there, I mean, long story short, it was like, yeah, so he goes, you do the whole blowy up thing, like grenade, smoke bomb, and then Oliver goes after him, and everyone else is like, yo, go to the plane, which was obvious. I mean, that weren't going to be so hot or whatever. And then yeah, there's a kind of really long period of time. It's kind of focused on like Oliver. I mean, we'll get onto the flashbacks, but I mean, let's just kind of finish with the interesting bit. Really, it was just like, I mean, they had plenty of time to escape, because it was all focused on Oliver. There was hella time and stuff like that, the kind of thing with Prometheus. So yeah, he hops on the boat, out comes William, and then it's like, yo, again, like, you've got a choice, either Willie dies or the whole Team Arrow kind of dies, and then Oliver's like, whatever, blasts him in the leg, gets his kid, holds him and stuff like that, kind of melts down, like, don't even look at him. It's like, calm down, mate. And then yeah, Adrian kind of whips out the gun, pops himself, and the whole island goes up. They pretty much had plenty of time to escape, easily enough time to get onto like the beach or whatever. It's interesting if I think they'll start the next season off from Team Arrow's perspective, them escaping. Do I think one or two characters they'll be like,
the mum's dead.
Pardon?
The mum is dead, Samantha.
Oh, you
They'll
think?
kill her, yeah, and then he's gonna have to raise a kid.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. But really, the fact that they don't know, they're just going to be dashing and stuff like that. Whether someone trips up, but I mean, if someone trips up and someone runs back to get them, then both of them are dead. You know what I mean? So I figured at least two people are going to end up getting killed. I thought it was interesting as well, like, backpedaling a bit with Slade, where it was like, oh, weren't you, like, engaged to the blonde, and you ended up marrying Ra's al Ghul's daughter? I was like, damn it, Slade, why not cut save race? So it was their thing was kind of cool, it made me kind of miss it. You know what I mean? Because it was easily the best character on it.
Yeah, it made me miss him too, but at the same time, I don't think you can ever have him be a permanent fixture on the show again.
Too much of a good thing. So the flashbacks were kind of like Kovar and Oliver was just dashing around. It was race against time to kind of get
Because you
up.
saw his body at one point in the present, right? Like there was a Slade and them were walking through it. His skeleton was on the floor.
Yeah, I guess so. So yeah, blah blah blah, shooting down the helicopter, and then he snaps his neck, makes it to the boat on time, and it's pretty much yeah, where the first season started. He gets on the boat and he rings his mum, and his mum's like not having it, and then eventually he convinces her, and yeah, that's the
I
kind
have
of
mixed feelings about that scene
uh,
because glad we finally got it. We finally, because that was one thing of watching the pilot, which I thought was good, but it's one thing that kind of bugged me is we never really saw the reaction of the family of learning that he was alive again. We just skipped straight to like Moira seeing Oliver, not actually learning he was alive. So we finally got that reaction, but at the same time, it's like it doesn't quite mesh because Oliver was so emotional, whereas when in the pilot he's really stoic. Like it doesn't blend. He's a different guy.
maybe like I don't know, maybe it was like once he got that out the way, the phone call, it was just like to business. You know what I mean?
Maybe, yeah, possibly.
Yeah. So yeah, who's dead, who's alive? I figure it'd be like the season 2 finale or whatever, where like Thea's in trouble and then Merlin just turns up out the blue. I think everyone's gonna pretty much like write off Malcolm Merlin as being dead, and really is gonna swing in and kind of save the day or whatever.
Maybe. I wonder if. I mean, I suppose Manny Bennett's going to have to be in the premiere of next year, isn't he? It'd be weird if he disappears.
Or they just have him with the Deathstroke mask on. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah, like in the 100th episode, yeah, I suppose they could.
They just have him with the mask on, and then kind of
You got that would be some lazy contracting though. You got to imagine when they signed him up to come back, they had them agree to do both the finale and the premiere,
yeah.
at least.
The same with maybe Merlin, I guess. I mean, if they just leave that really ambiguous, I mean, maybe that'll work out better, that he can come back in a year, like complete surprise, like they did in season 2. You saw him kind
Yeah.
of.
Exactly. If you know whatever John Barrowman's doing, he might. I don't know what he's up to. Maybe he needs to come back to the UK and do something for a while, but he can pop up back there at any point. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah. So yeah.
I think that's everything, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. Numbers.
I'll give it an 8.
Um, I'll give it. I'll give it a 9.
Nine. Wow.
Yeah, best episode of the season. Best finale since years. I mean, has there been like a good finale on Arrow?
Season 2 was good, I think. You know what, actually, I shouldn't say that because I don't even remember it.
Season 2 was where they were like fighting all like the Slade soldiers and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure that was the best. I think actually the best of season 2 probably was the one where Slade killed Moira. Maybe season 1. Season 1 was pretty good. That was the undertaking, wasn't it?
Yeah. But
That
really,
was pretty good.
I enjoyed this episode probably most out the season, and it's got me hyped for next season. Like, I remember last season finale, and I was just like not interested at all, to the point where I completely missed watching the first half of this season. I was completely that's how bad that finale got me. I was like, I'm giving up, and it's very rare I'll do that, considering I've been watching the show for 4 years. So I mean, that really got me.
It's definitely a better finale than season 3 and 4. It's been a better season, 3 and 4. I think they're moving in the right direction. There's a couple of things they can still do to fix it.
Yeah.
But Strong season, I think.
You had Felicity and him pretty much get together. Don't make that
Yeah,
relationship the focal point of the episode. Keep it kind of gritty and dark and stuff like that.
right. It's
And
fine. You can
they
have
can
them
do it.
together. Just don't make her such a miserable, naggy person.
Yeah, I wonder who the villain's going to be in next season. I mean, it'd have to be a new person, wouldn't it? Make that God, make it a good villain. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So yeah,
I think Prometheus was a good villain this year. They revealed him earlier than they did on the Flash. That was good.
it's interesting that they kind of completely like backtracked with Vigilante. They kind of brought him up predominantly in about 3 or 4 episodes, and then literally we ain't seen him for like the past six
Yeah,
or
because
seven.
it's interesting they never went back to him. It's obvious then with them doing that to Vigilante that really was just to throw people off because Adrian Chase is Vigilante in the comic books.
Yeah.
As soon as they did the reveal that it wasn't Adrian but by Vigilante, you never see him again. So obviously that's all the character was there for.
So yeah, I'm Sam,
I'm Matt.
and we'll see you next season.